Well, when it comes to marketing via social networking, my next guest says the key to success is listening for opportunity. Chris Brogan is a frequent consultant for Fortune 500 companies in the top 5 of Advertising Age's Power 150, as well as a New York Times best-selling author. And I had a chance to sit down with him at this year's Oklahoma Entrepreneurs Conference. Chris, how much has communications changed in just the past few years?
In the past few years, we've seen a lot of changes in the technology. One is in the U.S., a big shift to using more mobile device-based technology so that we're texting more than we used to. Europe and all these other places, South Korea, were using it for a long time. But in the last few years, we've really taken it on in the U.S. The other things we've done is we've gone to a lot more web-based communications. Social networks are now the #1 visited thing on the internet. Facebook is growing at over 700,000 new people a day, most of them in the ages of 31 to 60. And most of those women. So we've gone from it being something that maybe computer nerds or kids are doing to being how grandparents are looking at photos of their kids. So it's changed a whole lot.
So it's really stretched throughout the generations, because I still think of it as more of the realm of the young.
No, actually, it's interesting that the sort of boomer set is really getting it a lot more so, and the mid-late 40s, because what's going on is it allows us to reconnect with people that we haven't had the opportunity or the time to connect with. We have busy careers and all that. It allows us to network in ways that we weren't being allowed to do before, where we used to only really hang out with people we worked with in just our regional locale, but now we can talk to people on sort of a stripe of what interests us. We can connect. If you love fishing, if you love fly fishing, then you can talk to everybody who's into that, not just people who know how to fish your local stream. So I think there's a lot of opportunity now. That's all retail. On the business side of things, and even B2B, these kinds of things have changed, which allows companies to talk a lot more directly with the people they want to do business with, because it doesn't have to be old-fashioned mass marketing. It doesn't have to be just an ad getting their attention. Instead, it could be personalized to who they are.
So with these new virtual communities, how does someone in the brick and mortar world reach them?
Oh, there's such an opportunity, because the tools to listen, people are contributing every day to what they do and don't like, and they're saying out loud, I'm frustrated by the selection of things I can buy at the local grocery store. I'm frustrated by the way my cable company's treating me. Well, then people like Comcast listened to that online and really changed how they even delivered customer service. So Comcast, a big company, they figured out how to do customer service better over Twitter and Facebook and some of these kinds of places, and really changed that experience because they listened where the person was complaining instead of pushing them down a chute to get them to do what they wanted them to do.
It seems like every few years there's the new latest and greatest thing. Facebook, then Twitter. What's on the horizon?
It smells like location-based social networks will be the next big thing. Foursquare is one of the ones that you might hear about soon. Another company is called GoWalla, and they're looking at the intersection of identifying or opening up where you are and what benefits that has. So again, go with a restaurant. If I am the guy who checks in at this restaurant using my phone to say locationally, I'm here again, well, if I'm one of your better customers, then why wouldn't you maybe comp me an app plate every now and again and keep my business and keep the loyalty going? Or if I'm a competitor and I notice that you check in at my competitor all the time, why don't I reach out to you and make some kind of offer to try to convert you? So location-based service type social network seems to be the next big thing. There's a creepy factor, there's that identifying where you are thing. So I think that's the barrier. And I think that the positive is that you can now not only connect with a group of like-minded people, again, say you're into fly fishing, but we could all identify that we all happen to be in Los Angeles for some convention and where we are in the city, so we can meet and talk and do our business.
So a great social networking, great business networking. You mentioned the creepy factor. Are there any concerns out there about, as we become more just interested in our own interests, that we really don't understand the rest of the world?
That's a really good question. The opportunity to sort of isolate and insulate is really big with these things, because we could sort of surround ourselves all the time with like minds, and different political views, different spiritual views and all that, have a harder time getting through when we create our own non-diverse news information channel and network. So there is that concern. But I think the opposite of that, the opportunity that one could see in that as well, is it allows you to get a better exposure to things that we weren't really cued to before we had these networks. The Iran problems of last year,
Iran protests,
the whole protest thing, came out more through things like Twitter, because we saw on the ground reporting that didn't go through filters, and it just was directly from people to us. So I think there's a lot of opportunity like that.
What is your best advice for someone that wants to reach the public living in with today's technology?
My best advice is build a presence on the web that is a 360-degree presence, where people can see a picture of who you are, they can figure out what you stand for in the real world and where you exist in the real world, and then listen. Use all the listening tools that are out there, because the newest of these technologies aren't how to get your message to more people, it's how to hear people and find people of the same intent, so you can listen and gather those people together and have a lot less heavy lifting to do to convert and build relationships.
All right, Chris, fascinating conversation. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Yeah. Now, if you'd like to learn more about what Chris believes social networking will mean for TV and newspapers, just go to okrising.com, where I find out whether I may still have a job next year.